Welcome to today's sports news update, guys. And today we have breaking news coming from the Premier League club Chelsea. Chelsea, the Blues, they have been making headline the past transfer window, spending over 600 million on recruits. Under Tad Bowley, however, the club is now expected to let go of 12 players. This is a lot of players, guys. Chelsea's ready to cut ties with over 12 players. But today we're going to discuss the newly signed Dujon Whisper. He's considered the Jamaican wonder kid, and he has been making major headlines. The 17-year-old recently dominated schoolboy competitions in Jamaica, earning himself a call-up with the men's senior team. Despite his young age and lack of experience, he has dealt with it in a professional way. He didn't seem flustered at a higher level. Whisper didn't look flustered at all. I have to give him that. He looked like he was ready to play. He looked like he was supposed to be there. Chelsea has announced this signing early on this year, and he's set to join the club in November. However, there are concerns that he might be at a disadvantage as he's not currently playing football due to the season has ended in Jamaica. Lots of us know that in Jamaica, the schoolboy tournaments run for about 4 to 5 months max. So you're only playing football for less than half the year. And with him going to Chelsea in November, he would have wanted to be playing football going into that training camp where he could hit the ground running. Now, players like Raheem Sterling, some would think that he's a player who's on the chopping block. However, Raheem Sterling, his agent came out and just basically stated that Raheem Sterling wants to stay at Chelsea. He made the move last summer and he basically didn't bear any fruit this year. He looked a bit out of sorts in the blue jersey. However, one of the first players set to leave the club is the left back Ben Chilwell, who is he's been like courted by Manchester City, and he's understood that Pep Guardiola he's looking for a left back at this time. So he's one of them that's probably going to make the move. You might see him in a Manchester City uniform next season. Addition to Ben Chilwell is Mason Mount. Mason Mount is another player that is set to say goodbye to West London this summer, with talks of new contract grinding to a halt. Him being linked to Manchester United and Newcastle. That's one of the major headlines. Mason Mount, the England man, he's set to maybe make that move to Manchester United. It's also set that Chelsea is looking for a more effective centre forward, as Havertz only managed 7 Premier League goals this season, leading to the rumours that the Blues want to cut ties with him. Raheem Sterling, as we previously touched on, has struggled to impress since his arrival last summer, leading to questions about his future. However, it's stated by his agent that they want him to stay. This news could have a significant impact on the newly signed Jamaican wonder kid, though, Dujon Whisper. He's set to join the club in November. But look at it this way. There's going to be a lot of spots up for grabs. So players are going to be working hard to get those spots. But however, it seems like the Chelsea fans remain optimistic, and the club, they think that this kid has a lot of potential and he is one for the future. He is an exciting player. He looks dominant. He looks like he has worked on his body. He looks like he has built up the speed, and he is very good in front of goal. His performances in Jamaica was very outstanding, and we saw him in the men's senior team, and he looked like he was ready to go. So with the departure of a Ben Chilwell, I know it's a different position, a Mason Mount, Whisper wants to go in there and basically hit the ground running. There's also another Jamaican at the club by the name of Omari Hutchinson. Omari Hutchinson is a player who started out at Chelsea, but he then made that move to Arsenal, where they developed him in their academy. However, he made the bench this season for Arsenal, but it seems like Mikel Arteta didn't think that Omari Hutchinson was quite ready, and he also made the bench at Chelsea. He's now playing more on the under 23 levels. However, this would be a nice thing to have these two Jamaican youngsters. They are the future at a club like Chelsea. As we know, Chelsea every season for the past 10 years has been a top four club. But we all know what happened when they lost their owner, Abramovich, due to the war in Ukraine, and he was sanctioned and he was basically stripped off the club, bringing in Todd Bowley, a new owner who came in and splashed the cash. However, it didn't seem to work as the league is a very tough league. We all know that this is one of the toughest leagues in the world. It's the top league in the world, the English Premier League. And that's where a Dujon Whisper is going. This kid is basically making history. There hasn't been a player from Jamaica that I can recall in previous, like let's say in the last 20 years, that have left straight from Jamaica into a premiership setup. And we all know where this player is coming from. He's coming from the Phoenix All-Star Football Academy. This football academy is run by Craig Butler, and he produced players like Leon Bailey. So you already know the pedigree. This is a man who works on his players, make sure they're prepared for that next step. So I'm sure Craig Butler will be doing a lot of work with Whisper before he head out on that voyage. But Whisper also has to work on what he thinks he needs to work on, because now the level of the competition is going to elevate. Now you're no longer looking over your shoulder and seeing your classmates. You're going to look over your shoulder and see a Raheem Sterling. You're going to see Aubameyang. You're going to see all those top players. Mason Mount, they're leaving. But just an example of the caliber players he's going to be rubbing shoulders with if he breaks into the first team. As we all know, he's still 17, he's still young, so he has a lot of opportunities. He will get his opportunities. If he starts to dominate at the youth level, I think it's a matter of time before he makes that jump. I think that player also has to figure out what's his real position, what's his best position. He seems to like to play on the wing. Some things, a lot of scouts would say he looks a bit more effective when he's in front of goal, coming in with the ball from in the middle of the park. As wingers, we know that they tend to turn a lot of Jamaican players into wingers when they go to Europe or to England, as Jamaican players they tend to be quite fast, very speedy on the wings. But this is a different kind of player, guys. This player is phenomenal. He's very composed in front of goal. He is very goal hungry. And Chelsea haven't had a real goal scorer since a Drogba. Drogba was one of the main man getting Chelsea a lot of those trophies that they got in previous years. So I'm sure Chelsea is out on the prowl again, looking for that striker who could put it in the back of the net. But however, it's still early season. The player joins Chelsea in November. That's in the winter. We all know it's going to be very cold in the United Kingdom, and the player has to make that transition. But breaking news again, guys, Chelsea is set to dump off 12 players. We know Chelsea spent over 600 million in the last transfer window. However, they didn't do that well this season, as they struggled throughout the season. Lot of chop and change, and that didn't work. But thanks for tuning in to Sports Prophecy TV, guys. I'm your host, Jay Taylor. Until then, see you next time.